Hello and welcome back to Yarncast. My name is Casey. I'm the owner and operator of Hank's Yarn Parlour in Belfast, Northern Ireland. Thank you so much for joining me. You're very welcome. If this is your first time here, this is just kind of where I chat a little bit about shop news, what I've been knitting or crocheting, that sort of stuff. Let's see, what have we been doing since last time I chatted to you guys? Last time I chatted to you guys, I was getting ready to head to the Gathering Stitches Festival at Castle SB, which was absolutely incredible. It's an absolutely stunning place. If you've never been there before, it was my first time there, and if you've never been, it's a wetland preserve, absolutely loaded with ducks. Really, really, really beautiful scenery there, and we got just absolutely spectacular weather for it too. Really lovely all weekend long, blazing sunshine. Couldn't have asked for anything better, especially in this country. But yeah, the festival itself, I mean, what an incredible amount of vendors there. Every one of them just had something so unique to offer. I didn't even actually get to every single one because it was so busy. So I think I missed out on everybody that was down the opposite end of the hall. For me, I didn't quite make it that far, so I apologize if I didn't come say hi. But wow, absolutely fantastic group of vendors there. Everybody just had beautiful stuff and really nice to chat to everybody as well. And also, of course, all of the makers coming through the space. So our knitters and crocheters and weavers and embroiderers, and everybody was just really enthusiastic and excited to be talking about what they were making or what they were planning on making, what they were shopping for, what they had bought. So that was really cool. A lot of people came and showed me what they were able to purchase from other vendors as well that I didn't get to see. So that was really great for me. Let's hope they do that one again next year. I would really look forward to doing another festival like that. It's a lot of work, but absolutely worth it, and just a wonderful weekend, and nice for me to get a bit of a change of scenery from the shop as well. So really, really good time there, and if you attended, I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. Let's see, shop news. That's what I normally start with. Normally I start with shop news, and then I'll go into a bit of knitting. I do not have very much knitting for you at all this week, though, this month. But we'll get into that in a second. So there's quite a bit of shop news. So it's our birthday. Eggs has just turned 4. We opened at the very end of May in 2021. So thank you so much to everybody that's been through here or follows us on social media and chats with us and just kind of gets our name out there. It really, really helps. I can't believe that it's been 4 years. It's just gone by in an absolute blink. But every year we do a birthday sale, so that's on right now. That's what I'm getting at. It's still quite early in the morning, if you can't tell. I haven't had my coffee yet. So the birthday sale, it's 15% off when you spend £30 or more in store or online, and that runs throughout the month of June. So right up until like midnight on the 30th of June, you can snag yourself a bargain. That includes pretty much everything in the shop except for items that are already marked clearance, and also line-up publications. So yeah, everything else is fair game. You get an automatic discount on that if you're shopping online or in store. So there's no code or anything. You just need to put at least 30 quid worth of goods in your basket and check out, and that's there for you. Another thing that we're doing to celebrate is our birthday party. So our regular Stitch and Stash, which is the second Thursday of every month, is our birthday party. So that's next Thursday coming, which is June the 12th. This episode comes out on Saturday, June 7th. So the birthday party, we've got a few things going on for that. Come down, there'll be, kind of the usual tea, coffee, biscuits. There'll also be a couple more kind of fancier, I guess, So I'll have some cakes or tray bakes, that sort of thing, and there'll be a bit of bubbly. And what's even more exciting, we are having a little bit of a show and tell. So I have been asking everybody if you're planning to attend, it would be really, really great if you could bring down a knit or crochet or woven project, whatever you do, whatever you make with our yarn. Bring it down, bring down a funnish object, that preferably one that you've had knocking about for a little while, that's had kind of some wear and tear. Well, I mean wear and tear. I would like to see things that have had kind of some wear out in the real world, so that the other people here can kind of see then how that yarn wears over time. And we can talk a little bit about kind of what your experience was like knitting with that particular yarn. Did you like it? Did you hate it? I mean, no judgment. You don't have to say amazingly good things about everything that you buy here. I mean, sometimes, you know, might just not be for you, and that is totally fine. But I'm just looking for kind of some feedback on that. And if you do bring something and share a little bit about it, then you'll be entered into a draw for a mystery goodie bag. So I'm not going to tell you what's in it right now. I don't want to spoil the surprise. But I will tell you that it will be kind of appropriate for knitters and crocheters alike. There's nothing kind of that's going to be in there that I think I think everybody will be able to use everything that's in the bag anyway, and hopefully get some enjoyment out of it. So yeah, please do bring your knits or your crochet projects so that we can have a peek at them. That would be really great. The other thing that is happening, so I have just got a whole slack of samples, new samples from Rosario's. Their really lovely representative came to visit me a couple weeks ago in the shop, and after our discussion, she had mountains of yarn for me to squish, which is always wonderful. I love that. So she very kindly, after her visit, had posted a big swack of samples and shade cards to me. So I'm going to have this all out at the birthday party so that you can come and have a squish and look at all the colors in the shade cards and kind of tell me what you think about them. Just give me some feedback. Do is that something you think you'd be interested in using? Or if it's a definite no, but it kind of gives me an opportunity, and you guys an opportunity, to kind of see everything before I bring it into the shop. And, in kind of a cooperative, we can all kind of agree what would be nice to have in here. So I thought I would just give you guys a quick little rundown of a few of the samples that I have, just because obviously not all of you are going to be able to make it to the birthday party. I totally get that. So I thought I would share a little bit about some of my favorites that I've just picked out a sampling of the samples. And I thought I'd start with kind of the plant-based fiber ones, seeing as it's nice and summer. I don't know, I'm looking outside right now and the weather is very changeable. It keeps kind of getting nice and bright and very clouded over, and that's very typical of Northern Irish summer weather. But hopefully we'll get enough weather that you'll still be interested in summer yarns for summer accessories or garments. So anyway, that's where we'll start. So the one that I've got in my hand, this one is called Sunset. This is a kind of Aran bulky weight cotton. And also this is chain spun. No, pardon me, it's not chain spun. This is not the chain spun one. This is the regular spun one. I think this is like 8 or 10 plies in it. It's nice and sturdy anyway. And it does have a rather lovely color palette. Hope that's focusing. Yeah, they're all really beautiful. This is what I like about these sorts of palettes, is that kind of everything goes with everything else. So you can always kind of pair up different colors. You can't really go wrong no matter what way you're pairing them. So yeah, Sunset bulky organic cotton. I should mention too, every one of these yarns that I'm going to show you here is part of the Rosario's Eco Collection. That's absolutely my bag. I just like to keep it as environmentally viable as possible. Let's see, slightly smaller version of Sunset. Well, it's not entirely, but if we go down just a wee bit, this is sort of more of a Aaron worsted weight. This one's called Atlantico. Get that focus. There we go. This is a cotton and lyocell. This is a very particular type of lyocell. It's actually called sea cell, and it's made of seaweed, which is absolutely incredible. It's very sustainable, and it's so soft and fat. These both are. They're very lovely, smooth cottons. I think that this is kind of what you would expect out of most cottons. It's lovely and smooth. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary there, I suppose. This one feels like it has a bit of a tighter spin than the bulkier one does, but it might just be because it is a lighter weight. This does have a bit of a different color palette, so there's a lot of, I love the way they do these shade cards, by the way. So they actually include in some of the shade cards like knitted or crocheted samples, so that you can see what that is like. This one's got a few more kind of brights, and pastel-y colors are really kind of summery. Okay, so next up is, I'm probably not going to pronounce this properly, but it's Felicia? I'm not 100% sure how to say that. This is a 4-ply. It's a 50-50 mix of cotton and bamboo, and it's got this lovely sort of marled, in fact, if I can get that to focus, you can see it a bit better. This one's got kind of a light green and cream marl to it. It's kind of almost like a lime, but not like a fluorescent lime. So this is really lovely and soft, super smooth, pretty weighty. So most plant-based fibers are pretty weighty. They're gonna have really nice drape. This one is coming in at 290 meters per 100 grams, so it's kind of nice actually to get them in slightly bigger balls as well. Let's show you the color card for this one. So there's so many marl shades. All these ones up top that are kind of a little bit subtler, they're all marled, and these ones at the bottom are solids. And I do give you these really lovely mixes that way, so if this is getting kind of the brightness might be a bit weird. Alright. And then moving onwards is the Caravella. This is probably one of my favorites summer yarns that she brought. Like as soon as I touched this, I was just like, oh my god, I gotta have this. Not to mention, it has the most beautiful like jeweled tones in it, which this camera is absolutely not going to do justice to. This one is like a really lovely gold. It looks like it's maybe a little bit lighter on the camera there, but so this is 100% bamboo, fingering weight. It just feels like butter. I've been a little bit wary of bamboo fibers in the past because despite bamboo being an incredible resource that grows really quickly, it does take a lot of water to process it down into yarn, into fibers basically. So even though on the surface it kind of seems like it's really good for the environment and really sustainable, it is in some ways and it isn't in other ways. But the manufacturing process on this one, it is part of their eco-friendly collection. I'm going to do a little bit more research into this because I don't think that this one is GOTS certified. Pretty much all of the rest of them are. Now, not everything I bring into the shop is GOTS certified, but I do try to do that where I can. So I'm a little bit on the fence about this one, just from a sustainability point of view. I think I need more information on it. This is still not focusing. There we go. Yeah. All right. Well, let me show you the color card for this, and maybe we can reserve our judgment about how sustainable it is just for a moment and just look at all the gorgeous shades that this comes in. So it definitely has like a few kind of more subtly things, but a lot of these have like really deep jewel tones that are just beautiful. This purple down here, wow. I'm not normally a purple person either, but as soon as I think the sample that she had brought to the shop was that kind of mauvey. It's quite a pinky purple, like it's dark and it's lovely. It's maybe kind of aubergine-ish. It's not quite as dark as that, but it's just stunning. So if you come down, you can have a squish of this one as well and tell me if it's something you think you'd be interested in, if it's worth it, if we're okay with it not necessarily being GOT certified. I'm gonna look into that. I really, so many of their yarns are, but I don't see that on this label. It's usually quite apparent, but Rosaria's does have, I'm gonna call them out a little bit here, a little bit of a shaming game. I don't know why they do this, but a lot of their information is on the inside of the ball band, and like I can't read that unless I take the band off the ball. Like it's just kind of annoying. I just feel like it's information that should be on the outside and easily to read before you purchase something, especially because in some cases they actually put the lot numbers, the die lot numbers, on the inside. I don't know why. Please, Rosario, stop doing that. And I'm just going to see if I can take, well, I can take the full band off this one because it's my sample. But let's just have a look and see if there's any GOTS information. Like normally that stuff is on the outside of the band anyway, so no, I don't see a GOTS certification or any Protect certification on this one either. So going to look into this. I want to know a little bit more about how it's produced, I think, before I make a decision on this, but I do absolutely love the feel of this. It is so soft, it's very smooth. This would make like the comfiest knitted or crocheted tee you've ever worn in your life. Absolutely. So let's hope that they're making it in a nice way. Last of the sort of spring summer yarns. This is something I've been looking into for a while as well. This one is called Rosio, and it is a flat chain spun ribbon yarn. It's actually like a t-shirt yarn. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find the center on this, so I'll just see if I can find it. And you can kind of see the texture of that. It's just sort of like a really fine, flat ribbon. Come on, focusing. I'm really sorry about the focusing issues on this camera lately, you guys. It's been a bit non-cooperative. And it's really hard for me to hold this up in such a way that I can get my hand behind it so that the camera will focus on that instead of my face. So hopefully that is working to show you what that would like. So this kind of works out. This one is GOT certified, by the way. It's 100% cotton. And I'm just looking for, yeah. So they estimate that you're getting about 19 stitches per 10 centimeters on your swatch using a 4.5 mil needle, 4.5 to 5. So I would say that this is worsted. They've marked it as a number 3 light, which to me usually comes out of DK weight yarns. I think that this is a little bit bulkier than that, but of course, I don't know how I feel about listed yarn weights. So, now, my only kind of complaint with this one is that it doesn't come in very many colors. And they're not bad colors, but I would just say that there's kind of this weird split where you get kind of on this side, you've got sort of these lovely, like, earthy greens and taupes and, like, kind of beigey creams and whatnot, and then you've got like these neons, and I just feel like they don't really jive together. And it's not so much in that, you know, every project you make has to be multicolored, but it would be kind of nice if you had the option to do, you know, if you wanted to alternate stripes, or if you wanted to use it to make things like granny squares and that sort of thing. It's sort of one of those, like, half of the palette works together and the other half works together, but it's a very specific palette either way, and they don't really mix very well. So I'm not 100% on board with the color choice here, but you guys can tell me what you think. I think that each one of these colors is great in their own right. It's just kind of a weird mix. I just kind of wish that there was a little bit more to choose from, and also, really oddly, there's only like this kind of turquoisey light blue here. There's not any darker blue options, and that's unusual. Like, most of the times when I look at shape cards, blues are the first thing that pops out at me. Blues are probably the most popular overall. I think, yeah, probably more people buy blue yarn than anything else. And not saying that we can't use other colors, but it's just odd that there's not a better selection of blues in this palette. I think it's a bit bizarre. I'm not really sure why this palette is these particular colors. Like, why, like, if we were only gonna have, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 shades here. Out of 11 shades, I would just really like to know why they settled on these ones. Because it is a bit of a departure from the regular Rosario's palette as well, so it's just a bit odd. Really love the yarn. I think that individually a lot of these colors are really beautiful. I just kind of wish that there was something more to kind of bring them together. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think of that. Sorry, this is really blowing out on this whole white card as well. Hopefully you can kind of make out those colors okay. So that is kind of everything that I'm thinking about bringing in from their spring and summer collection. There are also a few that I think I won't be looking at bringing in the autumn, but I'd like to get some feedback on them now anyway, so I will have them at the birthday party as well. Actually, this is maybe kind of a nice transitory one. This is Aurora. That is their silk mohair blend. So this is 70% mohair, 30% silk. Really lovely. Fluffy. I don't find that this one's too scratchy. I don't know, some mohairs can be really prickly. This one feels absolutely fine to me. I've been kind of, over the past few days, just picking it up occasionally and being like, how do I still feel about this? Because I don't normally have very sensitive feeling skin, but mohair is definitely kind of one of those things that sometimes, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just kind of the quality of the mohair that you get. If you get ones that have really short staples, prickly fibers sticking out in every odd direction, I think that's just what makes them feel more itchy. So this one feels really good to me. And also, this has an incredible palette. This has got a lot of really bright colors on it, which you don't see too often, at least in commercially dyed kind of mohair yarns. You get these sorts of things in soft yarns more so, but it's really nice to see. You've got some really bright kind of summery shades here as well. I mean, this yellow is completely neon, as are a few of these pinks and this sort of corally orange one. They're all stunning. They're absolutely beautiful, and they're, from what I recall, I can't recall what the exact price point is on these. Do you know what I'll do actually is when I'm editing, I will actually throw up the price points. I'll double check on them all and throw them all up. kind of as you're seeing them, so hopefully that'll give you an idea of, because obviously you're keeping budgets in mind as well, whether or not it's something you would use. But I think that this is definitely a more affordable option than the Esayer mohair that I have in stock, and it definitely comes in more colors. Yeah, so I'm pretty interested in this one. You guys let me know what you think. The next one up, I'm really excited about this. I am probably going to bring this in even if you guys tell me that you all hate it. This one, again, pronunciation. My Portuguese pronunciation is going to be absolutely terrible. I think this is called Yaku, but I'm not 100% sure. If any Portuguese-speaking people are watching the podcast, maybe you could phonetically let me know how I'm meant to be pronouncing these. Anyway, this one is right at the top of my list because this is a wool and yak mix. I absolutely adore yak fiber. It's kind of just the right amount of toothy wooliness without being itchy, just meaning that like it has a halo. I don't know if I put this up closer if you would even be able to tell that from here. I don't mean that it's rustic, because it is incredibly soft. It just means that it does have a little bit of kind of fuzz going on. Not a super smooth yarn. Woolly, and I think what I like about the yak fiber the most, apart from just how it feels, is also that it's a darker fleece, which tends to give you these really deep, rich colors. So even on kind of like a paler shade, if you will, like this is a really soft pink, but it gives it this sort of like, I don't know, almost like antiqued look, I want to say. There's just something inherently autumnal about these that I absolutely adore. Yeah, let's see, what exactly is the mix here? By the way, it's 4-ply sport weight, going purely by yardage. Definitely 4-ply. This is 200 meters per 50 grams, but it does definitely look, again, because the kind of halo on it, I think that you would get away with like sport weight for sure. So they're saying on the ball band 23 stitches per 10 centimeters, which I would say is probably about a sport to a 4-ply, somewhere in there. But it's so luscious, you guys. So luscious. This is the shade card for it. And I think that all these colors are fairly complementary to each other. Like this palette, as opposed to the other one, the t-shirt yarn that I just showed you, I think these ones have a much more comprehensive palette. They're going to work together really well. This also would be perfect for color work, just the texture of it. If you're looking for a nice toothy yarn that is actually toothy but soft, this I think is a winner for sure. Yeah, this is kind of just like my little pet now. Between this one and the bamboo one, I just they're on my desk all the time, and when I'm kind of flitting in and out of the office, I just kind of grab one up and just walk around with it like a little pet for 10 minutes at a time, go put it back, and carry on with what I was supposed to be doing. Enjoy getting samples in. Alright, I'm going to show you one more. This is also from their autumn and winter collection, and this is cappuccino. Spanish pronunciation of that one. So this one is 70% wool, I think. Yeah, so this is 70% extra fine wool and 30% polylactide, which is a milk protein fiber. I have never used milk protein fiber before. I'm not even 100% sure how that is made. So that is definitely, I should have asked more questions about this one when the rep was in, but I'm super interested in this. This feels really lovely. It's not dissimilar to the Rosario's Bio Wool, and they are both They're about the same weight. They're both an Aran weight. This one just has slightly higher meters, so this is 95. The bio wool is, I believe, 82 meters per 50 grams. So, but like looking at, I've looked at them side by side, and they are the same kind of thickness. Like they're both Aran weight. Okay. This is a color palette for this. I actually kind of like, I think that this would be worth having both this and the bio wool, just because the palettes are different, and I think they would work really well together. So this is still a little bit dark. Hopefully you can see, oh gosh, all these ones are kind of coming out the same. See if there's anything I can do in post to get those to brighten up a little bit. But yeah, this, the biggest difference I think between this one and the bio wool is that this is machine washable. This is actually super wash. It doesn't look it. It's not a super smooth kind of superwash yarn either. It does have the same sort of texture that the bio wool has, but I like the idea that this one is machine washable, because that does definitely open it up for making things for kids and babies, because we all know we don't have time to be hand washing if we're giving gifts to new parents, or if we are new parents. I mean, you're too busy running around after your kids to be hand washing woolen garments, and let's be honest, these kids are probably going to put these things through the ringer anyway. So my kind of theory is, again, that this is a stronger fiber than what the bio wool would be in terms of just kind of general wear. But yeah, we'll have to knit up a few swatches also and see how they do wear in comparison. So if I'm not bringing this in until autumn, there's plenty of time to do that. Okay, so that is a selection of the samples. It's not definitive. There are a few more that will be there as well. So definitely come down and yeah, have a squish. Give me some feedback on that, and don't forget to bring your knits for the draw. I suppose we'll move on to what I've been knitting then. That's a lot of shop news. So I haven't actually been knitting an awful lot. Things have just been really flat out between festivals and getting the sale ready in the shop and getting ready for our birthday party and that sort of thing. It's just been a bit hectic. I haven't actually had that much time to be knitting on anything other than shop samples. There are actually, this is sort of one more little side note on shop news, because there are some classes coming up. I'm planning a new roster rota of classes for the autumn. So I've been madly trying to come up with samples for them as well. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, what have I been knitting? Actually, first of all, I will just have a little chat about what I'm wearing. If you've been in the shop before, you've definitely seen this. This is my Nomad Tee. Oh, who did the Nomad Tee? Rachel Isley, I think. But, I'll pop up the photo here. So there's actually a couple versions of this tee. She kind of has instructions for doing a short sleeve version, shorter sleeve version, I should say, that doesn't have the color work on the kind of cuffs of the tee. There's one that's it's a bit more like sort of a baby doll tee kind of style. But the interesting thing about this is that it is knit from sleeve to sleeve rather than top to bottom or bottom up. So it actually kind of starts here and you're knitting it around until you kind of get to the armpit, and then you're casting on kind of the rest of the stitches for the body down. So actually I just want to see the whole tee. That panel runs down the back as well. So the color work, so the sleeves are done on the round, so you're just kind of running the color work here stranded wise. When you come to the center panel here, this is done with mosaic, so you are not having to faff about knitting stranded flat, because the body is knit flat. until you get to the other sleeve here, and then it's joined in the round again and finished off that way. If I were to do this again, I think I would be really tempted to continue just knitting it in the round, doing the center panel stranded, and then steeking the openings. And that is because it took, even though it's easier to do mosaic because you're only doing that one strand at a time, you essentially have to do 2 passes every row, which just took up a lot of time. A lot of time. And also, the tension wasn't perfect on it either. I've really got to handle my stranded tension. Mosaic, even though you're only working with one color at once, you think, yeah, this will be an absolute breeze, you still do kind of have to somewhat manage flows because you're slipping so many stitches, and then when you need that color again, so it has to bridge. You still have a float behind those stitches that you slipped. It still has to bridge that gap, and I think mine were just maybe a little bit too tight. So my one kind of qualm about how this turned out is that this center panel is just a little bit tighter, and actually back up in here so you can see it at the bottom there, but it just lifts up in the center slightly. It's not too short, and like I have blocked it out a bit to kind of get it to sit a bit flatter. That has helped, but it still just does want to do this little bit in the middle where it just kind of lifts up. And that's just because that center panel is a slightly tighter tension, and then the plain stockinette around it. So if you're looking at getting into this, I mean, it was very enjoyable. Don't get me wrong. I actually really enjoyed this. It was a little bit of a different technique, which was really interesting. You know, but having done it then, and then looking at the kind of end result, you know, sometimes you just go, well, I think next time there might be just a better way to do this. But it's a lovely pattern. It's I've done this in the Easter Maryland, which is their woolen linen blend. And I think it's actually really perfect for our particular brand of summer weather as well, because it's nice and light and breathable, and it does have nice drape, but you still could wear it on a kind of cooler day as well. So it just kind of lends itself to the climate here, I think, and I really enjoy wearing it. I have absolutely no problem wearing this next to skin either. Most of my knits do have usually at least like a camisole or t-shirt underneath, but I don't need it here at all. I finished this off with double knitting the cuffs and the hem. There's an I-cord around the neck, so that's kind of stuck to pattern. I don't think that I modified anything else on this one, but yeah, as I say, if I was to do it again, I think I would really be tempted to just steek the opening at the bottom hem and just knit this in the round. I think it would probably be actually a lot better on the tension side of things. Apart from that, I think if I was going to do the mosaic again, I think I would definitely go up a needle size there. So I would recommend, if it's a pattern that you're interested in, absolutely swatch for the color work and the stockinette, because otherwise you might have that little bit of a difference that might make it not sit 100% right. Okay, moving on. So the only kind of whip that I have, I don't have any finished objects for you guys this week, but I went through a bit of a dive through my stash. Not really my stash, more so the graveyard of unfinished objects that are in my stash. The knits that I kind of pick up on a whim, and then they get shoved down at the bottom of the pile when I find something better to knit. That's an awful thing to say, something better to knit. Just something that takes my fancy more at the time. Anyway, I discovered this pair of socks that I started last summer. These are the Big Bloom socks by Ducati on Ravelry. It's German designer. Pop that up here, as I always do. So this pattern is actually, it's 3 colors, but I opted to add in a 4th for the heels, toes, and cuffs. Because why not? I think mostly because at the time I was really, really drawn to this orange, and the orange and pink combo was brilliant. So you're not actually, even though there's 3 colors going on in kind of the main body of the sock, you're still only ever using 2 at a time. So no need to think about 3 color rows. We don't like 3 color rows. Not a fun time. Although they're not that bad on socks. You know, if you're only kind of doing them every few stitches, every few rows, it's not too bad to manage them on a small project like this. But even so, it can be avoided. We would avoid it. Yeah, really crushing on this orange though. The orange and pink combo has been really speaking to me lately. I feel like especially every time that it starts getting warm out and it starts getting summery, I just, for some reason, suddenly have this huge crush on everything that's orange. So these I've knit in the Kremke Edelweiss Alpaca, which is one of my favorite sock yarns. It's, first of all, I love it for color work because it comes in little 25-gram balls. So it's absolutely perfect for color work socks like this. You only need kind of a couple of balls of each color, so you're not having massive amounts of waste or extras, which is great. It's also really lovely and soft, and it's still machine washable, which we love. So, what else can I say about this pattern? I'm not really sure, yeah, again, why I put this down, what I picked up instead, and why I didn't go back to it, but when I found it, I was just like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I forgot all about you. So, and also, like, when I did find it, I'm like, it was already knit up to like half of the foot was done. So I only had to knit like another 2 inches and start the toe. I don't know why that didn't just happen last year. Obviously something much more exciting grabbed my eye, but happy enough to get these done. I've just started the toe and starting to get to that point where I've done enough decreases now where I'm gonna have to switch to magic loop. Not my favorite, but can be endured for the sake of a sock toe. But yeah, hopefully I'll get these finished up pretty darn quickly and get the second one cast on, and then I'll still have time to wear them with some cute outfit and that just shows off my socks, because these are stunning. It's a really lovely pattern. It's not, it was a little bit tricky on the repeat, just because when you get to the foot, so this has a, you know, heel flat and gusset kind of construction, that's grand, but the sole of the foot actually has a slightly different chart than what the rest of the sock does, so it kind of took me a little bit to, like, I couldn't really get my head around it without having the chart in front of me. Most charts I kind of get to a point where I'm like, yeah, okay, it's in there and I'm good to go, but this one I did have to keep the chart handy. But it's still a really lovely sock and still very enjoyable knit. So can't wait to get this one finished and get the next one started and get them worn. Really looking forward to that. Yeah, so that's all the knitting. Like 2 seconds at the end of my knitting podcast, I'll actually talk about knitting. Yeah, I don't really know what's going to be in my queue after this. I kind of just in a bit of a space right now. I think where I need a little bit of a break from big projects, because I just finished my iris pullover not too long ago and then had to do the baby blanket. So probably small projects right now are probably a little bit wiser for me just now. I really do, as much as I'm always itching to get another garment on the needles, it probably makes a lot of sense to go back and revisit some of my unfinished whips. Not too many of them in there, actually. Like, most of them do get done. Most things that I abandoned for, like, this has been in just sitting kind of in timeout for about a year now, I would say. Anything that gets kind of put in timeout for longer than that, if I'm honest, I probably won't go back to, because at that point, honestly, I'll completely forgotten what I was even doing. If I've pinched the needles out of that project, I definitely won't know. I won't even know what needle I put on there because I'm absolutely terrible about leaving notes for myself. But there are a few other projects in my stash that I think I need to go back and revisit, and I either need to figure them out and get back knitting them, or I just need to drop them. Probably, I think a lot of the latter is going to happen. But yeah, I did say, and I haven't forgotten, if you've been watching for a little while, then a few episodes ago I kind of mentioned that I was planning to get back to finished objects that aren't quite right. So I have some things in my wardrobe, garments mostly, a few accessories that I've finished knitting them, but there's something just a little bit off about them. A lot of them, it's because the bind-offs are too tight. Yeah, things like that. Some of them have snags, some of them kind of need just like a little bit of darning work, that sort of thing. Some of them need length added to them, so I think I'd maybe take my time over the summer, just kind of pick one at a time and just kind of do a fix on that and get back to doing that. I haven't forgotten about that, I just haven't really had the time either, so hopefully next time I will have one of those fixed and finished to show you guys. But in the meantime, that is all that I have for you this time around. So if you're local, please do think about coming to the birthday party that is on Thursday, June 12th, next Thursday. You can drop in any time from 6 p.m. until 7:30. I will probably do the draw around about 8 o'clock, shortly after 8 o'clock, so I won't leave it right until the end, but I just want to give everybody the opportunity, because some people do come a little bit later, so I just want to give everybody the opportunity to actually be entered into the draw, but I don't want to leave it to the very last second when people are starting to leave either. So we'll aim for shortly after 8 o'clock, if I think that'll suit everybody. So I can't wait to see you there. If you've stuck with me this long, although it's a little bit of a shorter episode, so hopefully it hadn't been too much of an endurance contest this go around. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.